Just in a nutshell, World War II was the most destructive conflict in human history. The death toll is estimated at 60 million people. World War I was 10 million. More than half of these 60 million deaths were civilian deaths. New military technologies were at least partly responsible to the dramatic death toll. There were a lot of bombs and planes and missiles, eventually the atomic bomb, and these types of weapons didn't really differentiate between civilians and soldiers. In China, there were 15 million deaths and an equal number of refugees and homeless people. These deaths were at the hands of the Japanese, and to this day, relations between China and Japan are tense because of what happened in World War II. The most prominent example of Japanese aggression in China was a prolonged massacre that occurred in the Chinese city of Nanking in 1937 and 1938. Today, this is now known as the Rape of Nanking. Where over a period of about 6 weeks, between 200 and 300,000 Chinese people were murdered by the Japanese military in an extremely brutal fashion. On top of this, thousands and thousands of women were raped, and these were civilians, not Chinese soldiers. Germans bombed British cities to the ground. The Allies bombed German and Japanese cities to the ground. So all of this showed a new attitude towards war. As did the dropping of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which killed thousands of people in a single instant. So the attitude was no longer that you were at war with another military, but you were very much at war with another people. The most haunting outcome of World War II was the Holocaust. When Hitler conquered Poland and Russia, this brought more and more Jews in Poland and Russia under German control. All in all, 6 million Jews were murdered in the Holocaust. On top of this, roughly 6 million more people who the Nazis deemed inferior were also murdered. These people included Poles and other Slavic people, the Roma, homosexuals, people with mental or physical disabilities, communists, and Jehovah's Witnesses. In a broader sense, the Second World War brought about the end of the brief European domination of the globe, which started at the beginning of Unit 4 in the long 19th century. Post-war Europe was divided into two camps, a Western camp operating under the umbrella of the United States and an Eastern camp operating under the umbrella of the Soviet Union. Neither the United States or the Soviet Union were traditional European powers, or not even traditional world powers. Over the next decades, European colonies all over the world gained independence, something that we're going to look at in episode 28. Another outcome of the war was the growth of the communist world. The Soviet communist victory over the Nazis gave the Soviet Union a lot of credibility around the world and helped pave the way for the rise of world communism, which we'll look at next week, including the communist takeover of China in 1949. The horrors of war also brought re-energized efforts at global peacekeeping. So this failed miserably after World War I with the Treaty of Versailles and the League of Nations. A new institution called the United Nations was created, and it became a forum for voicing international opinion, although it's debatable how successful it has been at stopping wars. There was also greater international efforts made to regulate the world economy to avoid something like the Great Depression from ever happening again. So we have the creation of the World Bank and the IMF, or International Monetary Fund, in 1945 to regulate the global economy. And finally, we have the emergence of the United States as the world's superpower. So this is the end of episode 26. Thank you for listening.